How you doing, everybody? I like Fridays around here. It is the 15th day of March, 2024. I am Dan Kuntz. It is Friday. It's a five-star show. That's what we do for you. Promise you a five-star show. Promise you a five-star show on Thursday. I don't think it quite panned out, but the Friday shows are always top-flight local television information and local television entertainment. And once again, kudos to whoever came up with the idea of having Fridays followed by Saturdays and Sundays back-to-back so we, or most people, can have something called the weekend. It's a beautiful thing, and it's going to be a beautiful weekend. By far the nicest stretch of weather we've had in a long time. You'll probably have to go back to maybe October to see temperatures pushing 70 over the weekend with bountiful sunshine. We have a chance for 3 days coming up for some record high temperatures. We're going to be close to it anyway. And outside of a few high clouds passing here and there, it's just going to be gorgeous. That ridge is continuing to strengthen and not weaken. A beautiful forecast is on the way. I have a feeling that people are going to be all over the place this weekend. The weather is just too nice. You can't stay inside. The Apple Capital Recreational Loop Trail will be hopping with people, golf courses, parks, whatever. Going to be a gorgeous weekend to be outside. The news, we will do that. In sports, the Cougars are in the Pac-12 men's basketball semifinals for the first time since 2008. They took care of business against Stanford. Well, highlights of that. Kraken, boy, the numbers aren't looking good right now. They lost again, and they had a chance to gain ground on Vegas. They're chasing Vegas for that second wild card spot, and they lost again. Highlights of that, if you will, plus the prep scoreboard and the prep schedule. In the back half of the program, a great conversation. Chief Brian Brett of the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department came into our studios yesterday to chat with our news director, Jefferson Robbins. He is proposing a new way to fund his department. It's a pretty fascinating conversation. You don't want to miss that. And we're going to show one of the videos from Nick Zenter. He's a geologist at Central Washington University. He does these series of videos about how the Pacific Northwest, and specifically our area, came to be, geographically speaking. He's going to talk about how Saddle Rock became Saddle Rock hundreds of millions of years ago. It's a great video from Nick Zenter. We'll have that for you, too, in the back half of the program, and here we go. Let's take our tour as the sun starts to climb over the East Wenatchee bench. Sunrise officially this morning will be at 7:12. Sunset tonight, 7:07. 11 hours and 55 minutes today. 11 hours and 58 minutes on Saturday. On St. Patrick's Day Sunday, we go over the 12-hour mark. And, of course, the vernal equinox, the first day of spring, is on Tuesday. The first full day of spring is actually next Wednesday because the vernal equinox is at like 8:06 on Tuesday night of next week. We hit 57 yesterday. We'll be into the lower 60s today. Let's on up to Hay Canyon. Hey, Canyon. There's the sun coming up over the East Wenatchee bench. Good morning to Cashmere. The Wenatchee River, of course, pretty low this time of the year. Lake Chelan is low this time of the year as well. In fact, we'll show you Lake Chelan. It looks something like that. That big blotch there is Lake Chelan. That's from Slide Ridge. That's on the south shore of Lake Chelan. High, you know, Slide Ridge, they call it Slide Ridge because it has a tendency to slide. They have taken care of a lot of those problems that they used to have with roads washing out. So that's looking over Manson, the Manson area from Slide Ridge. The camera is on the south shore of Lake Chelan, high up on a ridge, looking over towards Manson, just below it. And speaking of Lake Chelan, McNeil Canyon. The McNeil Canyon camera, you can see the snow line right there. Beautiful. Lake Chelan, of course, is the bathtub is low. It's about, what, 12, I want to say 12, 13 feet lower than it will be at the peak of summer, which is still kind of cool anyway. I saw the engineering feat that they can do. They actually raise and lower the level of a lake that big and that deep is both remarkable and way above my pay scale. So the ridge is continuing to strengthen along the coast. The only thing we have to think about as we go to the weather forecast is just a little high clouds. The high-level clouds will pass, wisp in and out of the region today. Most of it will be relegated to the north, but you'll see a few high clouds pass around. But I'm liking this, and the ridge is going to continue to strengthen for the continuing forecast period. So how about 61 for our high today? I should have done the research to find out the last time we were in the lower 60s. I didn't do that. Didn't have time. Pretty busy this morning. 41 for the overnight low. We go to 65 on Sunday. We go to 70 for the afternoon high on Sunday. If we get to 70 on Sunday, that would tie the record high On Sunday, the 17th day of March. The high temperature, the record high temperature for March 17th is 70 degrees. That was set back in 1972, so we could tie it. On Monday, the forecast high is 71. The record high temperature on Monday the 18th is 70 degrees. That was set back in 1978. Best chance of actually breaking the record is going to be Tuesday, as we welcome spring with a high near 73. Our record high temperature on Tuesday the 19th, 68 degrees, set back in 1999. So it looks pretty good. We may break that record if this forecast holds true. One more day of bountiful sunshine, but slightly cooler on Wednesday. And then here comes some cold air from Alaska, not bringing any moisture, but it's certainly going to cool us down. But it's still above normal. All of these temperatures are above normal. Not only the afternoon highs, but the overnight lows well above normal. Our normal high this time of the year is 52. So we're in for a nice stretch of sunny and warm weather. Spring will be busting out all over this weekend. All right, going to take a break, and then we'll have your news on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Come see how very different you will feel in your Bullfrog Spa.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota equipment. Part of the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S., they offer the versatility and reliability to get the job done right, all year round. Right now, bring home select VX and L Series tractors for 0 down, 0% APR for 72 months. Contact your Kubota dealer for details.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect, no matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here. I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Gorgeous sunrise right now with the high clouds floating around the East Wenatchee Bench. It makes for a beautiful sunrise. We're at 37 degrees, lower 60s today, mid 60s on Saturday, lower 70s Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday with lots of sunshine. It's just about 9 minutes after the hour. The Wenatchee Valley Fire Department is weighing whether to institute a charge for fire protection that is not going to be tied actually to property tax, but instead it would be based on the size and the kind of structure being protected. Fire Chief Brian Brett presented the proposal to commissioners on Wednesday for what's called a, quote, fire benefit charge, end quote. The fire department serves the entire Wenatchee and East Wenatchee metropolitan area. Brett says the charge would effectively lower the agency's dependency on property tax. It would drop its tax rate from $1.50 per $1,000 of assessed property value down to $1 per $1,000.
The fire benefit charge has us give up that top 50 cents, and it lowers the property tax to the new base of $1 for everybody across the jurisdiction. And if you don't have burnable structures on your property, for example, the orchard, the wheat field, although they burn, their property tax goes to $1, because this is based on square footage of burnable property where people inhabit and lives are at risk.
Chief Brett visited our studios yesterday. He had a conversation with our news director, Jefferson Robbins, about this, and you will be able to watch that entire conversation in the back half of this morning's program. Link Transit's board of directors may decide next week on whether to send its sales and use tax back to the voters 5 years after the voters approved it by a ballot initiative. That 0.2% tax provides about $6 million of the total $59 million that is budgeted for the regional bus service. Voters in Chelan and Douglas counties approved the tax in 2019 by a combined vote of about 54%, but some elected officials who make up the board, including Douglas County Commissioner Kyle Steinberg and Rock Island Mayor Randy Agnew, says Link has not achieved its goals of expanding their services, and voters should be asked to approve or deny the tax a second time. Overturning the tax could make Link ineligible for about $3.5 million in outside transportation grants. The board tabled the question last July, but it's back on the agenda for the next public meeting, which is 3 o'clock next Tuesday at their offices at the Columbia Station Bus Terminal. Wenatchee police say they will seek criminal charges against a Wenatchee woman who allegedly attacked a family member Wednesday and then held officers at bay, threatening to hurt herself. Police Captain Brian Chance says the incident began at about 4:18 on Wednesday at a home in the 400 block of North Franklin Avenue, near where it meets up with 5th Street. The 45-year-old suspect allegedly attacked and threatened her adult daughter. When police arrived, Chance says the woman armed herself with a pair of scissors and locked herself in an upstairs bathroom and threatened to take her own life. At about 7:38 in the evening, when SWAT team members broke the bathroom window to gain a view into the room, the suspect exited out of the door and was taken into custody. Her daughter was treated for minor injuries. Now, the woman had not been booked into the Chelan County Jail as of yesterday morning, although Chance said police will seek charges of felony harassment, 4th-degree assault, and resisting arrest. More details have emerged about that alleged bomb threat that occurred in Monroe, and police say it was made by a Moses Lake man. Snohomish County court records say on March 4th, Ryan Samuel Palmer texted the National Human Trafficking Hotline, pretending to be a 7-year-old child, and reported a van full of explosive material in a supermarket parking lot. The 44-year-old Palmer was arrested at the scene after police cleared the area around Highway 2 in the Monroe Commercial Center. Investigators say there was no child with him and no explosives were found. 5 years ago, Palmer was caught with bomb-making materials during a Moses Lake traffic stop. He pled guilty at that time to burglary and bomb threats. He remains held in the Snohomish County Jail on a $50,000 bond. And supporters of Columbia Elementary School are particularly happy. In fact, they're downright frustrated with the Wenatchee School District over the interpretation services offered at board meetings. Community members have shared during public comment that they feel the services have been inadequate for those who have tried to testify before the board in Spanish.
It is truly sad to see that our monolingual community members and part of the Columbia family continue to be disrespected. Growing up at 12, 13, 14 years old, I watched how embarrassed my parents would be to ask for help, to be interpreted, translated. They felt voiceless and powerless to not be able to communicate due to language shaming, lack of access to English classes, and thinking they weren't smart enough to learn English at 50 years old. We should not continue to do this. This is a civil rights issue, as well as due process of respect, language inclusion, and a sense of belonging that we speak of. The district is sending the wrong message to parents who have come to these meetings in person, and they have felt as if they didn't belong. Languages matter. Communication matters and is key to empower children so their voices are heard.
The Wenatchee School District has recently partnered with CAFE to bring in a certified translator rather than having somebody from the district staff do the translation. Board member Maria Iniguez spoke up about the comments, and she also shared thoughts about how the district can better reach Spanish-speaking families.
We use our family advocates to reach out to all families in general, and maybe start with our Spanish-speaking families, invite them to our public hearing, invite them to our board meetings. We have a platform we are providing, we just got to get them here. So how can we as a district work together to inform them of what's already happening and have them join our meetings? I do appreciate the district for providing, having these services available. It's just how do we leverage on what we're already providing.
That's what's making news on this Friday. It's been a busy news week. Today will be no exception. So if you're interested in what's going on in the Wenatchee Valley, North Central Washington, you're invited to watch the news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. The NCW Life Evening News on TV, or as we like to say in the business, television, at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. If that doesn't work for you, or you consume your television via the World Wide Web, you can do it by, you can watch our news by simply logging on to our website, ncwlife.com. We'll be up and running there right around 5 o'clock on our Facebook page, our YouTube page, our app. If you don't have our app, you can get the app by picking up your smartphone and taking a little pop at the old QR code there. And if there's something out there that you think we need to know about, we have an email address because everybody does. It's news at ncwlife.com. Not a good night for the Kraken, very good night for the Cougars. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
Headaches, neck or back pain? Been injured in a car accident, a work injury, or fall? Studies show that whiplash causes pain year after year. Your neck is supposed to be curved and acts like a spring to absorb shock, but when it's damaged, it straightens or reverses, and this causes headaches and pain. The solution is our specialized comprehensive combination care. You need our team of professionals who will address every point of your injury with very specific equipment and skill. Stop by Wenatchee or Leavenworth for a free consultation.
It's me, Blippi! Blippi's back on stage with his brand new Wonderful World Tour.
I'm an excavator.
Sing, dance, and make new discoveries. In Blippi, the Wonderful World Tour with special guest Mika.
My name is Mika. Yeah, it's nice to meet ya.
For tickets and more, visit BlippiOnTour.com. Blippi, the Wonderful World Tour.
Are you hungry enough to eat the end out of a rhinoceros? I know how you feel. Come on out to Blueberry Hills. You'll have a great time. We've got excellent food, a feet on the furniture kind of experience, and we won't hustle you out of your table. If you want a real farm experience, make the trek to Manson to Blueberry Hills, where you sit, you pick, you eat, and you visit. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
18 minutes after the hour, Connor McMichael scored on a breakaway with about 8 minutes left in the game. Unfortunately, Connor McMichael plays for the Capitals. Yeah, Washington beating the Kraken 2-1 last night. Oliver Bjorkstrand, he scored the only goal for the Kraken. The Kraken stuck at 68 points. They remain 9 points behind Vegas for that second wildcard berth.
$1:15 left in this power play. No shots thus far. Carlson had the best look. He missed the target. Now it's dumped in by Strome. Good handle. Decord. Look out. They score. Joey Decord handled it. Went for it. TJ Oshie was in the right place at the right time.
Well, unfortunate play here. Joey does the right thing, goes out and stops the puck and just doesn't handle it well on the shot opportunity to get it out. It ends up going off of TJ Oshie. See, that puck's a little bit on edge when he gets ready to shoot the puck, and we've already seen Joey handle the puck probably 3 or 4 times this game perfectly. Stops the play behind the net. Will work that perfectly. Just a great save by Lindgren.
Power play unit number 2 for Dave Hackstall. Yamamoto kicked out again by Lindgren. Stretching out completely. A shot and a goal! Cue the maestro! Oliver Bjorkstrand in the right place at the absolute right time. It's a power play goal. The Kraken have tied it.
Comes up clutch here and a great opportunity by Yamamoto, and Lindgren still down and out. The puck is thrown to Bjorkstrand, and a diving Wilson not able to block this shot. Great pass on the backhand from Yanni Gord out to Bjorkstrand and up over that blocker side, but it all started first power play.
Has room, a shot tipped wide off Carlson. Burakovsky in control. He'll wind out. Look out, breakaway. Connor McMichael all alone. He scores. 8:24 left. Connor McMichael has given Washington a 2-1 lead.
A miscue there. Burakovsky drop pass. McMichaels picks it up, goes forehand, backhand, able to beat Decord. Bjorkstrand not able to receive that drop pass at the blue line. Nobody back. McMichaels breakaway from the far blue line.
7 seconds left. McCann. Tolvanen holding on to it. A shot stopped by Lindgren. To the wall. Beniers. That's all. Washington surrounded.
After the game, forward Yanni Gord and Coach Dave Haxtell said the Kraken just didn't have any energy, and that's why they lost.
It's one of those games where you feel like you're not on top of it. Missed opportunity, missed plays, didn't come out strong in the second. Not happy with this game at all. I mean, of course, they're a great team, and you can't deny that. But also, I think it's a little bit on us to find a way to set our momentum, set our pace to this game, and kind of dictate a little bit more. We know they're coming off a back-to-back, so there's no reason in our locker room to not be have more jump.
First two periods, mainly the second period, we didn't generate anything offensively. We didn't come up with enough pucks in the offensive zone, so we were one and done, and didn't have any opportunities in there. Now, part of that is, we spent a lot of the middle portion of the 10 minutes on special teams. There was a 4-on-4 stint, and then, another 2 penalty kills in a row. So that takes, takes away, takes some guys out of the game, takes flow out of the game. So when you couple that with, a couple of mistakes that, that end up in the back of your net.
The Kraken have now lost 3 in a row at home. They have another home game, by the way. The Nashville Predators will be at the Emerald City tomorrow night at 7. You can watch that on Root Sports. The Wazoo Cougars have never appeared in the conference tournament championship game, but they took the first step last night with a dominating 79-62 win over Stanford in the quarterfinals. Fifth-year forward Isaac Jones, all Pac-12 first-teamer, led the way with 16 points.
And this is a little different position for Washington State. They have most often have to play the Wednesday games. And, of course, this year coming within 1 game of winning the conference championship. No fouls.
Well, the point about Rice is this, is Angel gets the finish.
Yeah.
Is Rice is a mature freshman.
There was an example we're talking about. Rice chose that time. He pushed that ball up more quickly into the front court. Sets up Wells. Boom. Wells hits the 3.
Well, that's the counter. If they're going to close out and spread out the defense out to the line, rip it down and make a play at the rim.
Nice give back, and Jones flushes. Wells and Jones.
If you stop shooting them, people are going to stop closing out on you. They're able to pack the paint even more.
Stanford's length there smothered, but how about that? Look at Gaylor trying to contest that pass to Isaac Jones. Instead, it ends up with Yakimovsky's second 3. And that came right after Stojakovic made Stanford's first 3.
Aaron Baines, one of those pioneers in Washington State basketball in the last 20 years.
Yeah, good stuff, Jordan.
That's very good. Aaron Baines has been able to play as recently as this year. He's playing. Stanford has dramatically reduced turnovers in their better games. Chinyelu going right in again.
Well, not feeling well or anything like that, or just coaching staff doesn't like the way he's playing. That's the footwork I'm talking about with Isaac Jones. He's got a big toolbox down there. He can face you. He can turn his back. He's got both spins, both shoulders.
Well, here's the
touch.
Here's the separation that Stanford avoided in the first half, but now Washington State has it. And Stanford needs a few more of that.
I'll tell you what, this is, and I said it going to halftime, Ted, I don't think Stanford's played that bad here tonight, but I just think Washington State is really sharp.
Reynaud challenged from behind by Isaac Jones, and back comes Wells to the trail, Winsue, and that's an and one. James Keefe in, Spencer Jones, and Spencer Jones in what is
coming up next. I can't imagine all those fans are here yet.
So Michael Molinari informing me that it was an official attendance record last night for Wednesday. Well, Miles Rice back in the game. Of technical experts here with us at T-Mobile. Lily Junker, who's been a longtime Pac-12 stalwart, as Spencer Jones scores, and Eric Foster are here. Walk-ons in the game for Washington State. They set up Winsue there for the basket, but Ben Olison, Jay Mullins also in the game to walk it out for Washington State. For Stanford, it's final. There's some finality, and you can see some of the players now reacting. James Keefe, Michael Jones, Spencer Jones.
Cougar coach Kyle Smith said it was typical Cougar unselfish basketball that led to the win.
Yeah, I thought that was a great effort on our guys. The last 3 home games, we really had to grind and hadn't been as sharp as we can be, and obviously we had a little advantage them playing an overtime game, but been in those situations where those teams have come out and had a little momentum and been able to sustain that. So we warded it off. We got on top of them, and for the most part played really well. Just unselfish. We're 11 assists, 3 turnovers at halftime, which is really good for us. And we kept them off the 3 for the first half, and then they got some late when we had a cushion, because they're a very explosive team that can make 15, 16 threes. So we're happy to get this one done, but and we got another one tomorrow night, and hopefully we come out the same energy and effort.
So the top 4 seeds are the last 4 seeds remaining. Last 4 teams remaining in the Pac-12 tournament. Tonight, number 1 seed Arizona will take on number 4 Oregon. That'll be at 5 in the Pac-12 network, and the 2nd seeded Cougars that are in the semis for the first time since 2008. They'll take on Colorado tonight at 7:30. That game on FS1. Baseball games that didn't count yesterday. Mariners beat the Brewers 4-2 in Cactus League baseball. They continue to play better as we get closer and closer to opening day. They will be taking on the Angels at 1:10 this afternoon. One baseball game yesterday that did count. It's the only prep baseball game we had on the schedule. Ephrata got by West Valley 7-4 on the Diamonds. Prep softball scoreboard. Everybody's a winner. Wenatchee dominated Ellensburg by 10 runs, 16-6. Eastmont snuck by Cheney 6-4. West Valley beat Ephrata 14-2, and Chelan beat Tenasket in girls fast pitch softball 22-16. Full slate of games on the pitch yesterday. Cascade beat Ellensburg 5-1 to high school boys soccer. Quincy got by Ephrata 1-0 in the Battle of the Basin. Cashmere nipped Sela 2-1. Mansing got by Okanagan 3-1. Bridgeport all over Oroville 6-0, and Brewster just got by Tenasket in boys soccer 2-1. Prep soccer today. The 2 big schools are on the other side of the mountains. Wenatchee will take on Skyline at 7:30. This is a great rivalry. And Eastmont will be in Bellevue to take on Newport. That'll be at 7:30 as well. That's today. Tomorrow, here's your prep soccer schedule. Natchez Valley travels to Moses Lake at 1 o'clock. At 11 in the morning, Cashmere will take on Zilla in Zilla. Brewster will host Cascade also at 11 a.m. 1 o'clock is Quincy hosting Okanagan, and Chelan will be at Bear Creek at 2 o'clock. And we can't forget about prep baseball all Saturday, all doubleheaders. Natchez Valley and Cashmere, first game starts at 11 a.m., while Luke will be at Quincy. Again, 11 a.m. first pitch in the first game. Noon for the first game, first pitch for Chelan at Colville and Liberty Bell at Omak. And those are just some of the games that people are playing, or going to play anyway, at 29 minutes after the hour. Happy Constitution Day in Belarus. We've got a lot of people who watch this show online in Belarus. I wanted to wish you a happy Constitution Day. It is the Ides of March. We'll get to that in just a little bit. It's National Everything That You Think You Know You Don't Know Day. It's World Sleep Day. It's True Confessions Day. It's World Speech Day. We're not going to do any of those, no. Today is National Shoe the World Day, and I thought, okay, what's the most famous pair of shoes in the world? And I thought of Dorothy's ruby red slippers. In the book, The Wizard of Oz, her slippers were actually silver, but the movie was in Technicolor, and I think it was the cinematographer or somebody suggested to the director, why don't we make Dorothy's shoes ruby red, because we're shooting it in color, really make them bling and pop out. And they agreed to do so. There are about 500 million people on this planet who do not have shoes, either by choice or they simply can't afford shoes, or shoes are unavailable to them. They found what they think to be the oldest shoe ever, They think it was built in 3300 BC. They found it in 1991 at the border of Italy and Austria. It's believed to be the oldest existing shoe ever made. The first people to wear heels were men in the 10th century. They wore heels to keep their feet in the stirrups when they were horseback riding. Sneakers were first invented in 1892. They got the name sneakers because they didn't make any noise when you walked around on them. In Britain during the 14th century, they used barley corn to measure the size of your foot when you got yourself a pair of shoes. It's estimated that the average American woman owns 19 pairs of shoes. And there are, you see the ruby red slippers, there are 4 authentic ruby red slippers from the film The Wizard of Oz that are still in existence. Each pair is worth about $3.5 million. That's a lot of money for a pair of slippers. National Shoe the World Day today, 31 minutes after the hour. Today in history, 2,068 years ago, March 15th, 44 BC, probably the very first assassination that we know of a worldwide leader. Julius Caesar, the dictator of Rome, the Roman Republic, is stabbed to death by a bunch of people who really didn't like him. It is the Ides of March. He was given a heads up, something's up there, Jerry, but he, I'm fine. Shouldn't have gone to work that day. Should have just phoned in sick. Happy birthday to, here's the state flag of, well, it's the name of the state's on the flag. It's Maine. Happy birthday to Maine. 204 years ago, it was admitted to the Union as the 23rd state. Vacation Land is the state nickname. The state song of Maine is called, and I'm quoting now, the state song of Maine. Didn't put a lot of originality into that. Maine, of course, is the only state that borders just one other state. As the crow flies, Maine's coastline is pretty impressive. It's about 250 miles. But if you factor in all the islands and all the craggy shores, because it goes all over the place in Maine, it's actually about 5,500 miles of coastline. And they have a lot of lobsters in Maine. 124 million pounds of lobsters are caught in Maine every year. That's 90% of the entire lobster supply of this country is caught in Maine. The official state animal of Maine is the moose. Maine has more moose than any other state in the lower 48. They think there's about 76,000 moose running around the hills of Maine. There are no billboards in Maine. They are banned. You won't find them anywhere. And Maine is home to 99% of all the blueberries in the country. So Maine, beautiful, blueberries, lobster. Happy 204th birthday, Maine. 52 years ago today, The Godfather premieres at Lowe's State Theater in Manhattan in New York City, March 15, 1972. It was ranked most recently by the American Film Institute as the second greatest American film ever made. Citizen Kane came out at #1. I think The Godfather Part 2, quite frankly, is a better movie, but The Godfather is darn good as well. You could go to the theaters and watch it for the first time 52 years ago today. And happy birthday to the very first internet domain name. Symbolics.com is registered March 15th, 1985. The very first internet domain name is 39 years old. That was in 1985. Symbolics declared bankruptcy and closed its doors in May of 1996. Let's do some birthdays. We always do presidents. The 7th president of the United States, Andrew Jackson, born in the state in 1767. Where he was born, nobody really knows. Both North Carolina and South Carolina claim that Andrew Jackson was born in this state. Most historians believe he was probably born in South Carolina, somewhere near the border. There are other historians who believe he wasn't even born in the United States. He was actually born on the ship en route from Ireland to the United States. He's the only president who was a first-generation American. His parents obviously immigrated from Ireland, and everybody after that, their parents were born in America. So he's the only president who was wholly a first-generation American. Volunteered in the Revolutionary War at the age of 14, was a cockfighting enthusiast, made millions of dollars trading slaves, racing horses, land speculation, worked his way up, and of course became a national hero with the War of 1812. And he was the very first president who somebody tried to kill, the very first assassination attempt Somebody tried to kill him when he was president in 1835, but the guns misfired. Andrew Jackson, born in the state in 1767. Sly Stone, he's everyday people. We're all everyday people. There's a new biography out on Sly Stone. It's good. If you have time to read it, read it. The music is fantastic. He's 81. Hang in there, Slide. And Ry Cooder, baby. Ry Cooder. Just buy the album Paradise and Lunch. Pour yourself a nice cocktail and kick back and enjoy. It's genius. Ry Cooder, 77 years old today. Mike Minotti has got an opinion. Jefferson Robbins had a chance to talk to Wenatchee Valley Fire Department Chief Brian Brett. That's coming up. Plus, you're going to hear from Nick Zenter, the geologist of Central Washington University, and his history of Saddle Rock. That's coming up. Special thanks to Alpine Air, our platinum sponsor for heat and air. Call Alpine Air. Special thanks to our super duper sponsor, Pool to Spa Services. With this weather this weekend, you're going to start thinking about getting a pool in your backyard. And of course, our friends at Prestige Senior Living at Colonial Vista. 36 minutes after the hour, you're watching a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
The new Hummer EV is everything you want in an all-electric vehicle. It's powerful, reliable, comfortable, and will take you anywhere you want to go, on-road or off. Why buy one of those lesser EVs when you can have one that uses them for traction? Order your Hummer pickup or SUV today from Sangster Motors, batteries included.
It's cold outside and time to make sure your loved ones are safe and secure at home during the cold months ahead. Aging and Adult Care has low-cost, in-home care options for seniors, adults with disabilities, and for caregivers assisting relatives or friends. Services like housekeeping, personal care, and home-delivered meals can make such a difference for you or someone you know. These services and more are available by calling Aging and Adult Care's offices at 1-800-572-4459.
Highlander Golf Course is proud to announce their 2 new state-of-the-art full-swing golf simulators with over 80 courses of virtual golf to choose from year-round. Or try their Laser Shot simulated firearm program, or gaming with football, basketball, and much more. Enjoy Highlander food and drink service from their full-service bar and grill in the comfort of their simulator room. Call the Highlander Pro Shop to book your time at 884-4653. That's 884-4653.
I chose Pinnacles because they embrace and lift people with different learning styles.
It's a school where I can be myself, creative, and be successful.
There's a lot of hands-on activity, and
you get to really connect with the community here because we're all one. We get to see each other often. It's a small building.
The teachers care about you and make sure there is equity in the classroom.
They take care of them as a whole. They see them as a name, not a number.
My name is Anna Marie. I've lived at Prestige here for 6.5 years, and I love it. They just made you feel so welcome. I love my room. I get 3 meals a day, do as I darn well want to. I've loved it ever since I moved in.
Mom's a wonderful, wonderful lady. She deserved the very best, and I got it for her here at Prestige.
Doug McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, Western Christianity is focused on personal sin, considering the things that I have done wrong, saying that you're sorry to Jesus, and asking to be forgiven. Well, what about the sin of social injustice? Many of the lessons in the Bible aren't focusing on whether or not you stole a candy bar, told a lie, or said a bad word, but instead, a lot of messages, particularly in the Old Testament minor prophets and the major prophets too, they address things of social injustice. Now, the Old Testament prophets were big on chastising God's people for focusing on themselves and ignoring the poor, the hungry, and society's outcasts. Maybe the church in America should start being more concerned about racial prejudice, economic inequality, and things like whether or not we are a society that cares for the dispossessed, instead of wondering if Jesus is someone's personal Lord and Savior. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
It's a great time to go into the medical profession. And this is the perfect place to start, because this is going to provide you that basic understanding in order to get into medical school, physical therapy school. So when you are ready to head on your career pathway, wherever it is, then you've already had some experience and say, oh, it's so cool. This is exactly what I want to do. So really, you're going to leave me with 13 college credits and a license with the state of Washington.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Oh, look at this.
This would look really good in the kitchen.
Or the living room. Just look at it.
New windows are a work of art. Upgrade your home's windows and get cash back from Chelan County PUD.
This is gonna look great in the house.
Jefferson Robbins with NCW Life. The Wenatchee Valley Fire Department is weighing whether to institute a charge for fire protection that wouldn't be tied to property tax, but instead based on the size and kind of structure being protected. Fire Chief Brian Brett presented the proposal to his commissioners on Wednesday for what's called a fire benefit charge. He joins me now to talk a little bit about it. Chief Brett, thanks for being here.
Jefferson, thank you.
A fire benefit charge is something that has been adopted by other fire protection districts in the state of Washington, but it would be new here. So can you explain a little bit about how it works?
Sure, it would be new in Eastern Washington. We would be the first fire department in Eastern Washington to adopt this charge. It's been extremely successful around the state and 20 other jurisdictions. And basically what it does is currently the state of Washington dictates how we assess taxes. We have one revenue source, which is property taxes, and the state says you can take $1.50 per thousand and your budget is capped at 1% of your prior year's budget, which doesn't track any inflation metric whatsoever. The fire benefit charge gives local control to 1/3 of our budget. The Board of Commissioners gets to set the fire benefit fee, and it's based currently on the square footage of burnable property on a structure. So everybody's property taxes upon passing a fire benefit charge would go from $1.50 to $1. And to make up the difference in the revenue we just gave up, we would pass a benefit charge based on the square footage of your structure.
And it's entirely based on square footage, you say. Are there other factors that would go into determining how much my fire benefit charge would be compared to, say, my neighbor or my friend who lives across town?
There could be. The current database is purely based on square footage, and this is extrapolated from the fire code. Other risk factors later, if we wished, could be incorporated into the database, and that's what is nice about this funding mechanism. The community gets to give input in 1/3 of their taxation to their Board of Fire Commissioners. Every year the Fire Commissioners sets this benefit charge, locally controlled.
You gave a presentation this week to your commissioners and the public about the fire benefit charge. Commissioners haven't taken action on it yet. What would need to happen for this to become something that you can use?
We have to file with the election offices on both sides. We have the ballot measure ready to go if the commissioners approve it, of which I anticipate at the April meeting. We have to file by May 3rd to be on the August election, which would then put this in place for 2025.
So it's a public referendum vote for all voters within your fire protection area. Does it need a supermajority like we're seeing with educational
It
bonds?
does. It needs a supermajority the first time to pass. It doesn't require a voter turnout, so we don't have to meet the 40% voter turnout requirement. But the supermajority of 60% is needed 6 years later to renew it. It's a simple majority from then on to renew it.
So what I understand state law governing fire benefit charges is that schools, churches, other non-taxable institutions, they're not part of this at all. They're not paying this any more than they pay a property tax.
Exactly. No change to them.
Would the fire benefit charge be assessed based on publicly available data? You just go to the assessor's office, look at the square footage of a house or a building, and determine from there?
That's exactly where we get the database from. We work with the Douglas County and Chelan County assessors, extract all the parcel data into Microsoft Access, repopulate it out in Excel. It's broken down into the improvements on your property. Any improvement on your property that's 400 square feet or less is exempt from the benefit charge. So it's based on the burnable square footage of your property.
And is there a difference based in how property is used? Domestic property, residential versus agricultural versus industrial? Are there risks that get factored into how the charge is assessed?
There is. Currently, residential structures are in one category. Multifamily apartment complexes, they're in another category. And commercial occupancies are in 10 categories, with a growing coefficient to the size of the commercial occupancies in what their fire benefit charge is.
So an industrial-based business that deals with flammable chemicals or other materials, they're going to have they're going to be looked at in a different way from my house.
Only because of square footage, not because of the processes in place.
What about the aspect of fire risk? There are residential properties in Wenatchee that we've seen that are more at risk from wildfire, for instance, than others. So if my home is up against the wildland-urban interface, the WUI, is my benefit charge going to be different from one in the core of the city?
No, it's not, and that's another benefit of using this model of funding the fire department. Unfortunately, the insurance companies are canceling policies or increasing premiums pretty significantly on our homeowners on the fringes or even remote from the fringes of the wildland-urban interface. We go to the fire benefit charge, it's likely a savings to the homeowners around that area that would help offset those increased insurance premiums. So there's no disparate impact if you live right against the wildland-urban interface or if you live deep in the city, square footage of burnable property, that is it.
Is there anything else, Brian, you can think about that I didn't ask about the fire benefit charge proposal?
Just in closing, we're just really optimistic about the support for this funding mechanism. It's the fairest way to spread taxation across a jurisdiction. Nobody likes taxes. Within both counties, 10% of your tax is going to your fire departments, 90% is going to other governmental entities. We're a small segment of the tax pie. No one likes taxes. We fortunately have a way to distribute the taxes over 31,000 parcels to minimize the effect and keep taxation consistent over time. What the fire benefit charge will allow us to do is just keep the expenses to our customers growing very slowly over time. Everybody pays more every year. As soon as we can get our provider of services and supplies to quit raising their prices, we can quit raising our taxes, but we can keep it consistent over time. The current model we use causes these whipsaw blades spike taxation spikes because we have to go back to $1.50 and we go down in 5 years and we have to go back to $1.50. That gives sticker shock to our constituents every 5 to 6 years, and nobody likes surprise bills. We like consistent payment over time.
So hopefully you get a stable funding mechanism and the taxpayer isn't surprised every year by what their fire tax specifically looks like.
Yes. Yes, the goal is to keep it nice and smooth expense where it's not noticeable to the taxpayer unless the community comes to us and expects and asks for a greater level of service, increased staffing, new fire stations. Obviously that would increase costs.
We'll be watching to see how this idea develops. Chief Brian Brett, Wenatchee Valley Fire Department, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Jefferson.
You're watching the NCW Life channel.
Your home runs on hot water. From the kitchen, to the bath, to the laundry. So Rheem offers a wide variety of water heaters from traditional models to ones smart enough to tell you how much hot water is available. On second thought, perhaps the laundry can wait.
What does it mean to be curious? For my students, curiosity creates opportunities for a bigger and brighter future.
Wenatchee, Washington is down there on a perfect late spring evening. And this is Saddle Rock, a pinnacle of volcanic lava that looms above the Columbia River. There's more than Saddle Rock. There's many of these pinnacles that are 44 million years old. That's a new date from new research. What kind of rock is up here? What kind of volcano story can be told by studying Saddle Rock? Hint, it's older than the Cascade volcanoes. Okay, top of Saddle Rock. This is rhyolite, and rhyolite is very stiff lava. This is not the kind of volcanic rock that you typically see in the well-known Cascade volcano line, like Mount Rainier and Mount St. Helens. It's a pink volcanic rock with these little white chunks inside, little smoky quartz crystals. Well, this is very stiff, sticky lava. And so each of these pinnacles is a rhyolite dome, a squirt of very toothpaste-like magma that was part of a very explosive volcanic system. Saddle Rock, beautiful pinnacle. There's a whole family of these volcanic outcrops, including this one here. This is Wenatchee Dome, just like it sounds, a dome of lava. But there's a specific story about all of these outcrops. They tell the same story with age and chemistry. Let's look a little bit more carefully at this volcanic outcrop and try to put a story together. Saddle Rock, 44 million year old rhyolite. Wenatchee Dome, same stuff. Castle Rock, Black Thumb, Rooster Comb. If this is too old for the Cascades and it's rhyolite, what should we be visualizing for this area at that time? This is a welded tuff. It's the result of a pyroclastic flow, an ignimbrite, an ash flow tuff. Those phrases all mean the same thing. The most explosive, dangerous, ground-hugging hurricanes of ash, rock, gas coming to rest, welding in place with a volcanic vent close by. This is much closer to a supervolcano story than it is a composite cone volcano. We're still trying to work out the details of if there's a supervolcano here, or where the vents are, or what the volcano actually looked like. But it's major progress to realize that all of these pinnacles at Wenatchee tell the same story. So yes, this is a volcano story, but no, this is not volcanoes standing on this landscape for 44 million years. Let's not get carried away. This is an underground story. So these pinnacles of rhyolite lava were actually underground, fingers of magma working their way up through soft sandstones. Some of them got to the surface and exploded violently. But these pinnacles are the result of eroding soft sandstone over the last 44 million years, and what's left standing? These fingers of frozen magma that today preside over Wenatchee, Washington.
This series was made possible in part with the generous support of Pacific Science Center.
It's the NCW Life Community Calendar, a presentation of Alpine Air. Tickets are on sale now for Music Theater Wenatchee's annual Apple Blossom musical. This year, it's Grease. Performances are May 1st through the 4th and May 8th through the 11th, with matinees on the 5th and the 11th. Grease is directed by Kelly Atwood, produced by Mark Belton, and features Henry Talbot as Danny and Riley Schoening as Sandy. Tickets range from $30 to $39, with senior and student discounts available.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
We're going to be all over the place, all over the place. Just the weather's just too darn nice to be inside. 61. Our afternoon high today, our normal high is 52, so we're going to be well above normal through the forecast period. Again, lots of sunshine. That ridge of high pressure continues to strengthen and move inland. We'd like that. 41 for the overnight low on Friday. Saturday, 65 and sunshine. Sunday, I should say. Forecast high of 70, which would tie our record high on the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Monday, the 18th, our record high 70. We have a chance of getting that. And our best chance to set a record high temperature absolutely will be Tuesday, which also happens to be the vernal equinox. Our record high on Tuesday, 68. Our forecast high, 73. Have a great weekend. Enjoy this beautiful weather. We will see you Monday. Bye-bye.
Hello, North Central Washington, and welcome back to Network TV for episode 4 of our 11th season. I'm David Mabey, your host and the marketing director at NCW Tech Alliance. Our mission is to harness technology and human ingenuity, empowering entrepreneurs, enriching STEM education, and driving technology adoption throughout North Central Washington. For over 2 decades, we've led the charge in building a community where innovation thrives. In today's first segment, we're diving into the entrepreneurial spirit with Myra Garcia, the creative force behind Evergreen Luxury Events. What began in 2021 as a heartfelt venture, Evergreen Picnic, has flourished under Myra's guidance into a full-fledged enterprise known today as Evergreen Luxury Events. Specializing in micro events, Myra has dedicated to her team craft memorable moments with service like photo booth rental and marquee letters, while Myra